is no uniform.
And there are lots of people who are seekers of truth. That's how I come back again. And the truth is that we are the spirit. Now in these modern times, when people only talk of science, people cannot believe that there is something like a spirit and that there can be a all-pervading power, a subtle pervading power. It does thinking for us, organizing for us, and which also loves. So it's something else, think too much of it. Tall story for very modern times. But if you have a scientific attitude towards it, then it can be proved. You should take it as a hypothesis, and it can be proved that there is a all-pervading power, subtle power that exists. Because of the rule of English, and then later on, followed by that, with a certain attitude of intellectuals, we should say, we have tried to sort of put some clouds on this truth which was there. But it exists, and it is there, and with SahajaYoga, you can prove the existence of this all-pervading. That means you can feel it on your fingertips. This all-pervading power, you can feel it as cool breeze on your fingertips. And when this power, which we call as Kundalini, rises, it pierces through 6 centers, subtle centers, and emerges out through a fontanelle bone, which we call as Tharapore. And that's how you get yourself up. Now we had saints in this country, so many saints everywhere, and they were people of extraordinary character. They never did anything wrong, they never murdered anyone, they never hankered after money, they didn't trouble anyone, and they were such righteous people. And nobody told them don't do it. They were just like that, they were like angels. So now the time has come where many have to become like that. This is a very big evolutionary step, one more jump. We have come to the stage of human beings and we have to jump one more, where we have to become saintly in the sense we become righteous, virtuous, very powerful, dynamic, as well as very compassionate. So these things have to happen, have been predicted by many people. And the time has come in this Kali Yuga and this Kali. People are so much under pressure that they are seeking truth much more than ever before. The struggle of life is too much, and they have no absolute answers. Everybody says they are right, but nobody has been able to prove that it is an absolute. With SahajaYoga, you can prove it that it is an absolute, because you can feel it on your fingertips, even on your hands, you can feel it. And then, if it is decoded, and if you know what are the centers, 5, 6 and 7, left-hand side, emotional side, and this is physical and mental side, you can easily even diagnose the disease of a person. You can cure, you can give mental peace to a person. Now people talk of peace foundations, but they have no peace in them. Those who get Nobel Prizes for peace, I've seen them no peace in themselves. You don't have peace within yourself, how can you talk of foundation? So, you become also a person who is in a weakness state. That means you become thoughtless, and you can see, you are aware, very aware. You can see the beauty, the art, the joy of that creation within yourself without thinking about it. Apart from that, the whole system transforms into a personality which feeds the collective consciousness about which Guru has talked. Sounding change. Now this collective consciousness is by which you can feel another person's centers. You can feel your centers Sitting down here, you can feel the centers of anybody you want to feel. Because it is like a very subtle ether into every molecule, every atom which is there. And this is our heritage. Spirituality is our heritage. Science is not our heritage. Science has no humanity. The countries who have gone too far in science have to receive back now, because it has created problems, tremendous problems of humanity, the social life is finished, and even so people have become extremely violent, and democracy, when somebody said, no, communism is all right, it's that. But both are in its own style. Communism is wrong because what are people going to distribute? So where is all spirituality? Now say I have got power of hearing others, curing others, doing everything, joy, everything. Then I am a capitalist. But I can't live with myself, I have to give it to others. So I am a communist. So these theories are artificial because they deal with material things. And material things cannot be mutual, because you must have seen that economic wants are not satiable in general. That doesn't mean you should have material, but there should be a balance. Out of the way they have gone to produce now plastic in America. Now they created mountains and mountains imbalances, mountains and mountains of plastic. They don't know what to do. You cannot dump it in the sea, you cannot burn it. Now they have got acid rain, another problem, which is such a big problem that they are saying that at least 70% of electricity will be lost. That's ecological problem. Then also you will find there are problems on the seashores where solid become full of dust from the many ships which they are carrying all the oils and everything. So out of proportions they have to, and we have to know that machines are for us, we are not for machines. Now they have become slaves of machines. We can't take it. You'll be surprised that in England you cannot get anything fresh. Everything has to be deep. If you want to take something fresh, then they will say the fresh things have got this kind of insecticide and it has this one which is poison, this will cause you cancer. Everything, every day there's in the newspaper, don't eat this because it will cause cancer. So this artificial has created. We have gone too far. We have to learn from it. Now they are waiting for a shock. Anything is possible. Like America has taken to drugs. But at least 65% people in America are drugs. They are twitching their eyes, they are twitching their noses. I mean, you won't find people like Indians that you get right now. Their hands are shaking like this. Yeah. And the drug addiction is a tremendous problem. That has come because they are not satisfied with life. They want to run away. It's an escape. It's an escape. But why are they trying to escape if they are at fear? They should be happy. And in the most affluent countries like say Switzerland and Sweden, Norway, these are the most affluent. In those countries there's a competition going on in committing suicides. So the Indians must learn a lesson. Of course, we have to come in the center. We are too much ritualistic, too much bound by our conditionings and our wrong ideas about God, religion, caste system, dominating women everywhere, and all kinds of injustices in the name of religion. Scheduled caste, this, that. Religion cannot be unjust. Cannot. has happened because it has gone into the hands of people who are not religious actually. They just claim that they are mostly fundamentalist. It has to go into the hands of people who are saints. But the saints, when they came here, taught him. That's how spirituality is on the wrong lines. If it comes to the right side, right and proper righteously, then you'll be amazed that SahajaYoga, it can increase even the yield of our crops 10 times. Sometimes even with that we can have. I had a sunflower which is so big as that. I produced out of 60 kilos of rice, 1,400 kilos of the husk, rice in the husk, 1,400 in 1 acre. Because this Chaitanya starts with this all-pervading power starts with. With that you can do many. There are many blood
power. You mean this yoga, SahajaYoga?
Power.
Power.
Yes.
That is again to this yoga.
Yeah, SahajaYoga. Sahaja means, Sah means with, Ja means born. Born with you. It is within yourself. In the traveler mode lies this power. It's like any instrument has to be put to the mains. In the same way, we are being equal. Then we start acting like a computer. And the whole transformation takes place. Now, SahajaYoga is working out in 40 nations. There are some institutions like in Russia we are very successful. The Russian people, I don't know how to say, they are very scientific minded. Their bent of mind is very intelligent. And when I went there, I was amazed the way these people accept. Absolutely. 2,000 people in the hall, 2,000 outside. I didn't know what to do. They said, when I came out, they said, are you going to give us self-realization? I said, all right, tomorrow you come out and sit outside. And all those who were inside and outside, all of them were there in the morning. It's spreading like a religion. People are just taking to service. And they called some doctors from there. And they gave the papers that we had done work. Also, there are 3 doctors in Delhi who are got MD in Sunday on different subjects like physical fitness, asthma, psychosomatic diseases. They saw it and they understood it, they accepted it. And immediately there's the doctor who is in charge of the whole department. Immediately he said, I'm not going to visit anymore. And he gave us an independent charge, independent organization. We are the only ones who are independent organization. So see their alertness to see the truth that is there. And it is our liberty. You see, the problem is so difficult to explain to them. And here it should be known that every doctor has the suffering. All the saints have doctors. And it should not be difficult. Where they have not done anything about religion, how they jump in. Because there are no conditionings of our so-called religious conditionings we are spoken.
In what way is different from the other forms of yoga, so many forms of yoga?
See, there are the forms like you can say Hatha Yoga is there. But actually the modern Hatha Yoga is not a Hatha Yoga. Because it has to be Ha and Tha. Ha is the Surya, that is the right side, and Tha is the left side. So in the modern SahajaYoga, there is no left side now. They just do right side work, this exercise, and this that. This was Patanjali's work was done thousands of years back, when we had 4 ashrams. First of all, Brahmacharya. At that time, they used to select some course for realization, or they used to cleanse people through these different methods.
This is conceived by Patanjali.
It
was this conceived by Patanjali?
So he accepted it. It was conceived much before him. You can say there were 3 types of movements in our country. The first one was where the Veda started, where they Veda. Now Veda also comes from the word Veda. Veda and both of these that on the tree of life, everyone of these outside. At the time of Janaka, only one person that Chiketa was realization by. He had to go through lots of parikshas, lots of tests were taken, and then you are going there. But today I think it's a blossom, and there are many people who can get realization. So the modern SahajaYoga, we can think, SahajaYoga is a very ancient thing, nothing new. But SahajaYoga, which is working on our mass today, it has two specialities. The first one is that you can give it arm. You can give it to many people, thousands of people can give it. Secondly, without doing any penance, without cleansing, anything, whatever the person, he has to first take the way. So when the awakening takes place through the body mind, there's a little light that comes. In that light, the person can watch strongly. Like say you are holding a snake, and I see you pull the way, but there is darkness, you can't see it. You might say it's not a snake, it's a rope. But if there's a little light, you see that you pull the way yourself, I don't know. In the same way, a little light of the spirit comes. And in that you see, and you become your own master. You become your own. You don't need a guru. And then you yourself correct yourself. Then thirdly, you have all the powers. So you can give realization to others. You can know people. And that's how it is going to spread. Like Mr. Murthy now, he's from America. He came to see me in Bombay. He had some physical problem. His wife had some physical problem. They got killed. Then he came down to Madras. Nobody saw me in Madras. He came. And he gave realization and started a session. Then I went. So like one enlightened life, that enlightened another life. But by itself it cannot get enlightened. And this is for the emancipation of the whole world. See, now we see that people who are changed are transformed. We won't believe that these are the people from these countries like Germany or England. They are so changed, so changed. When they come to this country, they touch the country with their body. Say, this is the country. And that's how they have to stay. You can't pay for it. It's a living piece. It's a living piece. Firstly, cannot pay for God, because God doesn't get the salary. Cannot. Those people who live on God's money are God. And this is something like a sprouting of the seed. You put the seed in the mother earth, it sprouts by itself. You don't have to pay to the mother earth. She does understand. In the same way, it's absolutely a living process of evolution. You don't have to pay for it. This is one thing one should understand. And then it works out.
How cure people of some problems?
Huh?
How is it possible to cure people of some problems of disease or whatever?
See, problems.
By practicing this.
No, I figure out. It's very simple. You see, supposing there's a tree is sick, which is sick. Now, if you try to treat the leaves, you cannot do it. You have to go to the roots. So we go to the roots. And in the roots of our being, there are 7 centers. And these 7 centers, when they grow out of order, then all these problems. Some give you physical, some give you emotional, some give you financial, and some give you other problems. So once the Pragati starts rising, she puts these centers together. By that, they get connected, you get integrated, plus she nourishes. And then when she's connected, all the time you are nourished.
Kundalini is raised through the yoga.
But one,
Kundalini is raised through SahajaYoga.
you see, we call it as SahajaYoga because SahajaYoga has many other things apart from Kundalini. First of all, it establishes a very pure innate can you see? Not in surgery. Once you get it, you are innately, you just don't do it. And we are that. Human beings are that brilliant. We have no idea about ourselves. We don't know ourselves. That's the main point. Once we know ourselves, then it is tremendous. It's tremendous. After all, God has not made us for just to waste our time. There must be some purpose.
You are going to understand in that.
Just 2 nights. And 2 nights I'm working here. But we have a very nice one. And we have many people who are very capable. And they can help other people to establish themselves. In the beginning, you have to get establish yourself. Know everything. It's not free. It's very easy to do. And it works. There are stages. Have you been like that?
They was the feeling, there used to be a feeling.
Which is not. We have now had so many people, and there is no danger. What do you think? Sometimes we feel first the cool breeze coming out. Before that, sometimes we can feel a little heat coming out. That's all. On our hand, we feel. There's no danger. Nothing has happened. Except for very few people like the teachers decided to just collapse. They came to my program and they just collapsed. So, I mean, that is really wrong.
How is this practice? How is this practice in the form of meditation or
So, you become, you are in meditation. You don't have to meditate. But cleansing has to be done morning and evening, about 5 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes. Not too much time. But it cleanses you completely. Then, once you are established, there's no harm.
this form of yoga is taught by all the centers in India?
Or,
Taught by these centers?
yes, they manage. We have centers all over. We have in Bombay, I don't know how many, but maybe more than 1 dozen. Huh?
18.
180. 80 centers. No, not training, but only the knowledge. And then they collectively meet and they listen to my lectures and understand more. Because you see, I have given a I don't know how many lectures in English, in Marathi, in Hindi. So they try to understand the further how to be, how to protect us. Also we have music, we have international magic. Very interesting. People are very joyous, happy. So there's hope for all of you. Or young people especially. They're supposed to be absolutely useless. I passed with trying to earn the scholarships. Recently one boy came and told me he got 94% marks. Really difficult. He's a surgeon. So it can be really marvelous. And you don't feel that. Now see, my age is 67 years, I've completed 67. And I'm traveling, all kinds of things. All the time I'm traveling. I mean, these 40 nations.
Travel out for
Yes, about all the 40. But at least 20 abroad and beside Australia. I'm going to Australia, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Singapore, maybe Japan also. Then I'm coming back and then again going to all the European countries. I've been to South America, Colombia. All.
And SahajaYoga is known in more countries. In all these countries.
Yes.
Mother is the greatest traveler in the world. I don't think mother is so true.
Yeah. Even
The
my
most
husband,
traveling.
even my husband who represents 134 nations in his job. mean, lots of difference also. So that was what is nice to find out. But that was the description of it. But there are some scientists who are doing what is that special. One doctor in Austria, he was advising to the US. He's doing a big research on this, and he has done a lot of things. He wants to come down on there and show that we have got one program in Harvard. We have other projects also, schools, and we have got also schools which now we are going to start into an arts and crafts. Then also we want to teach our children about electrical work. Those children who fail in 8th class, they have no future. So to teach them all these things, lathe work and electrical work, plumbing work, all these kinds of things. So they have some sort of project that is in hand and better. So there are many ways by which you can improve the capacity of a person, and then it improves the capability at the time. You'll be surprised when Indian studies, they become so honest, very honest. So you can imagine, very poor people. There was one poor boy who got scholarships, and now he is a graduate in the art college. He must have a daily school of arts. He is a graduate in flight school. He got scholarships for art. So it was a very ordinary boy.
And tomorrow you will be giving just a lecture about this.
No, I give realization also. And also with that,
What happens in realization? How do you?
after realization, you feel the food is in the beginning. You feel the food breathes out of you there. But you feel very peaceful in class.
That is by listening to the lecture?
No, I just asked them to put their hands to it about the class. But then you can once or
How long does it
you know, question was asked
You can have it now.
but when what we did, was asked to Ramanasa said, that home. But there should be the authority to do it, and there should be the one who wants to take it. It was Dakshan is the word he used. Who was the guru of Shivaji? He said that home. They all have talked about it. Kabila has talked about it. All of them have talked about it, especially Ganesh has talked about it. This is our knowledge. Knowledge of the roots we have, they have the knowledge of the tree. But the tree can't use our roots. We have to know it.
you think all people have the same capacity to receive, or are some people more willing to receive than others?
Then we cannot choose. You see, you have to respect their freedom. Because we have to get ultimate freedom. So we cannot force on anything. If somebody doesn't want it, we cannot get it. And we cannot do it. Some cannot do it. You have to ask. I mean, the body is not going to fall like it is.
So
And if
are some races by nature more
Receptive.
capable of receiving, like
No, I think
Asiatic, for example?
sometimes. We have in all races equal respect. There's nothing like that. But Indians are very good. But as they have got their independence so easily, they don't have much value. I think Indian services are not have that much value for serving like the Western people. They've got, they are so religiously working about it. They found out that physically that is that going all over the world in every street conference that there and every health conference that there now. So many Germans went to Russia to give realization to Russia. Can you imagine Germans going to Russia? So the way they treat this, the truth and the latest thing, and it's a glorious thing which we have the evidence established, so they go all out. In India, of course, people get realization all right. But you know, we want my brother to be alive, sister to be alive, bring the whole family, into the relaxation. It's like that. But then, still we have some very great persons.
You were talking about self-realization. People who listen to your lectures, they get self-realization.
I think in Hyderabad, at least 80% people. But now, I would say 70%. And Bangalore,
what they practice the SahajaYoga or
No, they have to come to the center to understand. First of all, they must understand what is the problem with that. Then to understand how to deal with it. Right? And then they must know how to be good. It's very simple. It's very simple. Because you see, it's like as we have got eyes, we can see clearly. In the same way, you get special awareness, by which you know within yourself.
and what is the role played by SahajaYoga in that?
What is it?
Role played by SahajaYoga in this?
SahajaYoga is a system by which you put a very right and you get to the right. So that is the whole thing I should say for the time being we can follow. By SahajaYoga, you achieve that state, that higher state. It's a higher state of awareness which you achieve. Which one has to achieve?
By himself.
Not who. It is somebody who is a SahajaYogi can. Somebody, as I said, enlightened life can enlighten. So one SahajaYogi can do. When that person gets it, he can do. One SahajaYogi can give realization in how to. So there are some who did that.
So you will be in Bengaluru for 2 days.
If I,
2 days you will be in Bengaluru.
yes, I'll
Today and tomorrow.
We have a program today at the town hall and tomorrow at the Bangalore Tamil Congress.